And always remember, before shutting off your RX-8 or any rotary, you'd have to rev it up to 3 or 4K. Good enough. Yes! Alright guys, this is my tail. See? I mean, you guys see this all the time. One of the predominant companies doing this is 8080. I've actually spent quite a dime on 8080 merch, stuff I'd actually use for myself, like cleaning materials, a wallet, which I am currently using, socks, like underwear, stuff I would regularly use just for the chance to win a car. Anyways, a couple years back, I had the vision of doing something similar. This was my hard-learned lesson about trying to do one of those giveaways. I thought it was gonna be so easy, guys. Like, literally, pick a winner. It didn't matter if it was Canada or US, and then pay the shipping fee, sign the bill of sale, and done and done. Nope. Take it from me, it is a lot more complicated than you guys think to import one vehicle from one state to another, let alone one country to another. And of course, like I knew about it. I've imported my own cars in the past, and obviously you'd have to find some sort of broker to take care of those kinds of logistics. There'd be like a customs fee, the shipping fee, and I guess like any other shipping regulatory things that would meet a specific standard for it to leave one country. And I guess when it comes down to it, this was one of the questions I had to ask myself at the very beginning was, is this considered a gambling act? And of course there's legalities behind it and everything. The loophole to this kind of giveaway is they buy the merch from your website and then you can count that as a raffle ticket. The buyer purchases a piece of merch or product from your website. So this is all completely legitimate, right? You're not just selling a number or a ticket, because then that would be the illegal act. They purchase a product from you and then you count that as the quote-unquote raffle ticket. And of course, like, my business mindset, part of it was obviously to try and make as much money as possible from the build, like try to make profit from it, right? Get it at a decent price, build on top of it with all of our sponsors, and then give it away to one of you guys. The incentive of winning a car by buying something as simple as a sticker. So after a prolonged amount of time, we ended up having the giveaway, and the winner was actually from Las Vegas. And I had this whole plan of shipping it down there, flying out there and timing it for around SEMA so that I can attend the event for the first time ever, but also time it so that I can hand this off to the winner. Little did I know that it is just so much more complicated than that. To make things even more complicated, this was close to the tail end of the pandemic. When I did plan on actually shipping this out, I had called around to companies that do both US and Canada car shipping, and they just charged up the A. It ended up being like the price of the vehicle itself to get all of the paperwork for this thing. So I'm gonna pull it up actually. So this was like when events were becoming a thing again and the borders just opened up. But then inflation just skyrocketed the price of shipping anything. And then you have your customs regulations and then all of the logistics behind trying to get a vehicle to stay in the US for more than like 90 days or something. Okay, so customs border protection, and this is straight up from their website. The owner must make arrangements for shipping a vehicle. And I was planning on doing all of this on my behalf, try to be my own broker. Have your shipper or carrier notify you of the vehicle's arrival date so that you can make arrangements to process it through CBP, which is the customs border protection. Shipments are cleared at the first port of entry unless you arrange for a freight forwarder abroad to have the vehicle sent in. Let's get down to the nitty-grits, okay? The documentation. For a CBP clearance, you will need the shipper's or carrier's original bill of landing, the bill of sale, foreign registration, and any other documents covering the vehicle. Like, you really have to pay attention to, is the car legal to be in that state that you live in? And obviously there's still a handful of JDM cars that you're still unable to import into the US. In Canada, we're a little luckier. But then you also have to pay attention to that particular state's road laws. And that's the next point here, is you will also be required to complete EPA form 3520-1 and DOT form, Environmental Protection Agency. So that's it, like emission laws of that particular state. And then the DOT is it even safe to be on the road? So you would have to have had the vehicle inspected. You must declare the emissions and safety provisions under which the vehicle is being imported. Vehicles that meet all U.S. emission requirements will bear manufacturer's label on the engine compartment in English, attesting to the fact. You can see that in the engine bay. For vehicles that lack such a label, the CBP inspector at that port of entry may require proof of eligibility to import under the EPA exemptions or exclusions specified on Form 35201. Like, what is this? Vehicles that do not meet all of the US emission requirements unless eligible for exemption must be imported through an independent commercial importer. EPA will not allow the vehicle's release to the vehicle owner until the ICI work is complete. So then the independent commercial importer will perform any EPA required modifications and be responsible for assuring that all EPA requirements have been met. Now, imagine trying to import something like this. It's already practically a show vehicle, okay? Are you even allowed to have that Battle Arrow GT wing mount in the back? Next point, cleaning the undercarriage. To safeguard against importation of dangerous pests, the U.S. Department of Agriculture requires that the undercarriage of imported cars be free of foreign soils. Have your car steam sprayed or cleaned thoroughly before shipment. One thing to keep in mind is your car is not a shipping container. For your own safety, security, and convenience, do not use your car as a container for personal belongings, especially drugs, kids. Your possessions are susceptible to theft. Oh, that's what they're worried about? While the vehicle is on the loading and unloading docks and in transit. Your vehicle may be subject to seizure and you may incur a personal penalty if anyone uses it as a conveyance of illegal narcotics. There it is. All right, the dutiable entry. And then now I want to get into some of the extra fees that you guys might have to pay. Foreign-made vehicles imported to the US, whether new or used, either for personal use or for sale, are generally dutiable at the following rates. So most auto vehicles, there's a 2.5% fee. Anything bigger, like trucks, 25%. Motorcycles have a fee of 2.4%. I think that's Canada to the US. And then anything going into the US. As a returning US resident, you may apply your $800 CBP exemption and those of accompanying family members toward the value of the vehicle, if it accompanies you on your return or is imported for personal use. So you import it there and only you get to drive it with some sort of specific registration. Now here's another thing, guys. I literally wrote down a word of caution. Both the DOT and the EPA advise that although a non-conforming car may be conditionally admitted, define non-conforming. The modification required to bring it into compliance may be so extensive and costly that it may be impractical and even impossible to achieve such compliance. It's highly recommended that these prohibitions and modifications be investigated before a vehicle is purchased for importation. So yeah, obviously they're gonna have a couple of officers look around the vehicle to deem it worthy, I guess. I mean, this little iffy. Driver's plates and permits. Here we go. This is the main bread, I guess. Imported cars should bear the international registration marker. The international driving permit, issued in 5 languages, is a valuable asset. Consult an international automobile federation or your local automobile club about these documents. I never did that. I don't know what that is. Oh, I think that's really if you're just still keeping the car for yourself and driving it down there. US residents importing a new or used car should consult the Department of Motor Vehicles in their state of residence about temporarily Okay, this is all about the documentation, the registration of the said car and all that good stuff. I think that's really it, man. And then like it goes into things like after a certain amount of time, you have actually about 3 months, 90 days to import it back. If it is not registered in that state, they have the potential to take it and crush it. Didn't want that happening. You can't just like bring it across the border, do the bill of sale and leave it there as is. You need to leave some sort of paper trail to prove that it was imported from Canada to the US and that it's going to be kept in the US for, well, in this case, it was supposed to be forever, right? And here's the transparent part about all this, okay? I had actually planned on possibly driving this all the way to Las Vegas, like do the whole border thing, be my own broker, save fees that way, and then do the bill of sale, leave it there with the new owner, and then fly back. Kind of glad I didn't, because if I did that and just literally left it there, I think they're the ones that would have gotten in trouble. And that's like if I didn't do this research and I wasn't ready with all of the documentation, but good thing we didn't end up doing that. Again, if I end up doing another car giveaway in the future, I don't even know, man. It's just a lot of effort. I'm probably just gonna keep it within Canada. Me being one person, it's hard to keep track of all this, okay? And I am just learning as I go. Now what? Well, I didn't want it to be unfair to the winner, the person who's been anxiously awaiting a new vehicle. So I've been talking to them before I even messaged them myself about all of the logistics, complications, and whatnot. So me and the winner have just agreed with a cash prize, and I'm gonna be selling the RX-8 off as it is. So if you're a Calgary local or even Canadian, you might actually see this thing on the marketplace. But hopefully this video answers your questions, okay? It's actually a lot. And don't say that you got this from me, but there are loopholes where you can get by, maybe say it's like a friend's or re-register it every other month, you know? But honestly, it's for the sustainability aspect and for longevity's sake that we do everything by the book, okay guys? No more cutting corners, no more buying hoopties, buying projects of projects. But don't get me wrong, okay? As the artist that cares about the physical aesthetic of object, I will forever remain a sculptor. I love working on the body of a car, what it looks like on the exterior. I could care less for the performance part of it. I care about performance for cars. It's the installing of the performance parts. I'll just like leave the 6 to 7 hours on a coilover install for my friends. Already kind of picturing the hardship, my man. Sure, it makes for good content on the YouTubes, but I would literally rather just draw those 6 hours or do the Bondo work, you know, install the wide body. I'm cool with that too, because sculptor. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I just wanted to kind of share my knowledge with you, my experience of trying to do my own car giveaway, which I mean, everyone thinks it's a cool idea until they actually do it. And sometimes it works out. Most of the time, okay, and pun intended, I'm winging it on this channel. So hopefully you guys kind of learned or got a little bit of knowledge, especially if you're planning on doing something like this. When it came down to the importing logistics, I had no idea. So this is me actually learning on the spot with you guys. If ever you plan to import any vehicle into the States, look out for these things. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Appreciate you for watching this really short video explaining why the RX-80 is still even here. You guys probably saw in my last vlog in my parents' garage. It's literally been sitting there for like 1.5 years, okay, collecting dust. That's why I also washed it in the beginning of this video. But she's pretty, man. And like, I got several comments at the gas station for it, and my ego just wanted to blurt out, you should see my other cars. Appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you sub if you want to get updated on when new videos come out on this channel. We're gonna keep up with the vlog type daily kind of videos behind the scenes, but also I've never left cars, okay? It's just we're gonna keep the crazy mods to a minimum unless I get like crazy big parts, but I also have one new vehicle that I'm planning on picking up in the next few days here, depending. And this is going to be our new winter time filler project, so I am excited. And if you're following us on the Instagram, which you really should, on both the new Bad Bata Instagram as well as my new personal sub Birdy, you've probably already kind of seen a hint of exactly what vehicle. So appreciate you guys for watching as always. Sub, drop a like, leave some good vibes in the comments, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Okay, ciao. You know, as a visionary, I had an end goal for what the RX-8 was supposed to look like, and it actually is really close to that concept. Like, this is how I would build it if I were to keep it. She's beautiful, guys. Look at her. She's just gonna sit here until a buyer picks her up, so that's it.